Well, Luigi Mangione, you're looking at pictures of him from just moments ago. He is now facing federal murder charges in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The charges include murder through use of a firearm and also 2 stalking charges and a firearms offense.
Mangione is expected to appear in a New York courtroom at 2 p.m. today, and that's after arriving in the city just last hour. He waived his right to an extradition hearing earlier today. Mangione also faces state charges both in New York and in Pennsylvania. NBC News correspondent Rahema Ellis is outside the Manhattan criminal court. Rahema, we are watching these stunning images of Mangione just moments ago arriving there in New York, just flanked by authorities, by personnel. He's clean-shaven, he's staring straight ahead, not a lot of emotion on his face. Walk us through what's happening now.
Yeah, it looks like he even got a haircut, Morgan and Vicky. I think it's pretty interesting that we've gotten these pictures of him that are so public. You remember when he was taken into the facility in Pennsylvania, he had the public outburst as they shuffled him very quickly into location outside of the view of any cameras and reporters being able to shout questions at him. I can't say how close reporters are. We might be using a very long-angle lens to get the pictures that we did get. But when the Pennsylvania authorities surrendered their hold on him, they turned him over to the New York Police Department, and now we understand the federal authorities as well. As you point out, that helicopter that landed on Wall Street heliport, which is not so far from where I am, got into a car where he's being transferred to a courthouse that's just around the corner from here. As you point out, there at 2 o'clock in just a little while, he will face federal complaint charges, 1 murder charge through the use of a firearm, they say, 2 stalking counts, and 1 firearm offense. The questions are being asked in terms of why these federal court counts they carry, if he's convicted, they carry the death penalty for this 26-year-old man. This would be in addition to what's happening on the state level. Manhattan District Attorney Alan Bragg has filed an 11-count complaint against Mangione, murder in the first degree, and another indictment that includes what's called in furtherance of terrorism. Bragg says that the murder of CEO Brian Thompson was intended to invoke terror. And some say that that could be somewhat of a complicated application for them to really prove, inasmuch as this was a law that was invoked following 9/11. And it's all about terrorism, as we know 9/11 was all about. And it might be difficult for them to prove that Mangione was attempting to invoke terrorism for a large population in the New York City area. Nonetheless, those are the charges against him. If he is found guilty of those charges, he could be convicted to life in prison without any possibility of parole. So in essence, the life for this young 26-year-old man, in terms of him being a free man, that would be over. Now, we understand from his attorney that he's going to plead not guilty to these charges when that eventually does happen. And they're going to mount a very vigorous defense, and they'll need a vigorous defense. Adam Bragg had talked about that they have a lot of evidence against them that they're going to present in court. Morgan and Vicky?
From plane, chopper, car to now the courtroom, Luigi Mangione back in New York from Pennsylvania. Rahema Ellis, thank you very much. Stay with us.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.